Hey guys, welcome back to a brand new video into the iOS 10 development course that we are currently working on. And this exciting video, we're going to be making our very first app that's interactive and it actually responds to whatever user does. Alright, let's get started. We're going to open up Xcode by simply doing a search for it. And we're going to open up a new project. We're going to call it, it's a single view application. We're going to call it Hello World again. Next, and we're going to keep it on top of this and replace it because we do not need the old one anymore. Alright, just a reminder again, storyboard is the actual outlook and the overview of what the application looks like, and the view controller is where the code lives. So we're going to make sure that we have iPhone SE first before we do anything else. We're going to hide the extra panel into the storyboard, and now we are simply going to drag and drop a label onto it again. I'm going to make sure that it's big enough. And there we go. Seems like a good place to be at. And now we're going to drop a button onto our layout. Keep it in the middle. It's going to say greeting. Now that we are done with the layout, which looks amazing by the way, we're going to go into our code. Now, there should be a way to connect our label and button with our code, and to do that, we're going to click on this button, which brings both of these in front of us. Alrighty, we're going to hide all the extra things that we currently have here. Don't need that anymore. And if you remember the back button, we're going to click that so we can go back to view controller on one side, and on the other side we still have the code. Alright, there is a very easy, oh sorry, I forgot to do that. iPhone SE. And since this is the first time we're going to be running it, it's going to take a while, so let's just run it anyways. And while it's compiling, we're going to continue doing what we were doing before. Now, to make this label and button interact with the code, we're going to have to drag and drop it onto our code so we can link them together. Now, to drag and drop the actual label or the button, it's very simple to do. You click on it, highlight it, and press Control on our keyboard and simply drag and drop it into the class. Not outside the class, into the class. And as you guys can see, the blue line, that means the connection is happening. And you can also see the message saying insert outlet or outlet collection. We're going to click that. We're going to keep it as an outlet. The object is view controller. It's going to be on the view controller. We're going to call it simply my label. So if you notice, the beginning of the first letter is not capital. Anything afterwards in terms of word would start off with a capital word. I believe it's called Camel Series or whatever. And then the type is UI label. We're going to keep it like that. Storage is weak, which basically helps you with the maintaining the memory of the phone and stuff like that, which we will cover later on in this course, hopefully. Alright, and we're going to connect that. And let's just go over what just happened. This is basically a connection of an IB outlet, which is the label, which in terms of memory storage would be a weaker variable, and it's called, var stands for variable, and it's called my label, which we just named it. And what kind? The semicolon, colon, if you remember, was to remember what kind it is. It's a UI label. And exclamation mark simply means that it does have a value in it. We'll cover that later on as well. Alright, we're going to do the same thing for the button as well. Simply press on Control and drag and drop it into the class. Now, the difference between the label and a button is label is just something where it's more of like a memory space which we use to display information. And that space is actually called an outlet. For buttons, it's not an outlet, rather it's an action, which will make the app do something every time you click on it. And we're going to call it greeting button. Make sure that you follow the same way of naming. We're going to keep type any. Event is touch up inside. Basically it means while the user touches the button area and taps it. If someone taps outside the button, then it's not going to work. which is obviously how you would expect a button to work. Argument, let's not worry about it, keep it center, and connect it. Alright, so if you guys notice, the button is a function and label is simply a variable, which is stored in this location. Alright, so let's just start off very slow, and we are going to simply print hello world again every time someone clicks on this button. So let's see if it works. Again, if you guys remember, printing it would print this information into our debug area. It's not going to be printing it inside the application because we're not linking it to any of the layouts that we have on the application. Alrighty, let's just play that and see how that goes. If everything goes well, we should be good to go. We do have the greeting button, and as many times as we click on it, it'll print the word hello world. Alrighty, these are all of them. Now what we're going to do is actually we are going to change the information that's represented on the label every time someone clicks on greeting. And to do that, we're going to do a very simple step. So we're going to delete all of this, and every time someone taps the button, we're going to do my label, which is just a location, dot text is equal to this string. Alrighty, let's see if that works. And now that we have this information linked to something on our display, the user should be able to see what's going on. Greeting, hello world. There we go. It's a very good thing that we are able to do this. I really hope that you guys are excited about this, because this is the first step towards the many of the applications that we're going to be making throughout this course. Now everything looks very good, but not a lot can be done through this application. What we want to do is get some information from the user and actually display that on the label as well. So let's see how we can do that. You're going to drag and drop, if you guys remember, it was called text field onto our layout. Just like that. I'm going to make it bigger, doesn't really matter, but still. Alright. And we're going to have a placeholder saying, please enter your name. And once the user enters their name, it'll just show up on the label. And to do that, first thing we want to do is actually link our text field that we just dragged and dropped onto our display to our code by, again, pressing onto the control button and dragging and dropping it into our class. And text field, we're actually using it again as a label or an outlet. We're not going to be using it as an action. So let's just call it user input text and connect it. Alrighty, so what we want to do, let's just go over what we want to do theoretically so we know exactly what to do. So we want to have the user input some information in this area, which will be displayed in our label every time someone clicks on greeting. So something should happen in this button to make all that happen. So greeting is linked right here, and inside these curly braces, whatever we do, that will correspond to making the app do anything when someone clicks on it. So mylabel.text would be the actual text that displays here, and we're going to make it equal to, instead of hello world, simply user input text dot text. Simple as that. Let's see if this actually works. So we do have all the information here. Please enter your name. We are going to enter let's just capitalize it. press greeting. And if you guys see, this actually shows up all here. Not entirely, but it's still shown there. The only reason you can't see it completely is because of the fact that the width of the label is not as big to fit my entire name. So we're simply just going to increase the width, just like that. Play again. And this time, hopefully everything goes well, and it should work. Now let's just say, Mr. TechJockeyHD. Greeting. And there we go. So we do have a user input there, and we can actually display that information every time user clicks that button. Alright, I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure that you go over it a couple of times if you didn't understand anything, because this is a very basic yet very crucial information that you should know before we go ahead in this course. So keep coding, and I'll see you in the next one.